Morning. So here in the gospel, Jesus has basically gone to his home synagogue, his home parish where he grew up, right? And everybody knew little Jesus, son of Joseph the carpenter. And he says, hey, everybody, your faith is so weak that you don't get it, right? And he says, just like the widow in Zarephath, and just like Naaman the Syrian, who weren't Jews, just as they were the only ones to have received mercy, God's mercy is going to stretch beyond the people of Israel, and it's going to go to the Gentiles, because your faith is just not there. Which, rightfully so, they get really mad and try to kill him. But the idea of leprosy, we hear in the first reading Jesus mentions Naaman. Leprosy is this just, horrible, disfiguring disease that makes people outcasts. Because it's highly contagious, their skin is rotting, their flesh is falling off. And then it turns out that once science came along, leprosy is, I think, just like a bacterial infection that is very easily treated with medicine. And there's an episode of House where a kid went diving and broke a jar on an old shipwreck, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And finally, House was like, "Oh, he's got leprosy, duh." And they just give him an antibiotic, and he gets better. Which, if you think about it, right? You see this horrible disease and think, well, there's no hope, right? And that disease of sin is the same thing. We look at it and we're like, well, there's no hope. There's nothing I can do to fix my sinfulness. There's nothing I can do to redeem myself. There's nothing I can do to make myself to be forgiven. And then Jesus comes and he says, yeah, no, the remedy is the cross. It's simple, right? Just like the antibiotic, all you have to do is allow me to forgive you. All you have to do is allow me to be merciful to you. All you have to do is to participate in my life. So Naaman is told, hey, go dunk yourself in the river 7 times, and that's going to cleanse you. And Naaman thinks, well, that doesn't make any sense. I want you to do something. I want you to do your magic, right? That we've heard about, and do something to make me better. Just say it. But of course, for us, we know that it's more than just simply kind of saying it. We also have to do it. With the sacraments, right? The sacraments are not something that we just kind of say oh yeah, okay, there you go. But there's a physical reality to the sacraments. Jesus took on our flesh, right? The incarnation took place. So Jesus came into the world and he, worked with the world. He worked with the elements of the world, right? Think of how he healed the blind man and the deaf man, right? He made mud and spat and and rubbed it on him. And in baptism, right, it's not enough to just say okay, I believe, there we go, I'm baptized. No, we actually have to be baptized. We have to be cleansed. And so those physical signs of the sacraments, they're essential. They must be there. That's why the church says, we can only use we can only use pure water for baptism. We can't use beer for baptism. Sorry. Yeah, I know, Mike, you were... Yeah, I haven't been baptized. Do it again. The bread and wine are the elements that are used for the Eucharist, because that's what Jesus used. And so we recognize that because Jesus enters into our life, he enters into our world, he takes on our flesh, he takes on the realities of this world, that we can't just shun those things. We can't just simply say, okay, well, it's enough to just say, okay, God, save me. We actually have to participate in his work. He participated in our life, and he desires for us to participate in his. So as we continue in with this season of Lent in this 3rd week, let us recognize our duty always and everywhere to continue to participate in the work of Christ in our daily lives.